You may be wondering that today what I'm doing with this camera and all these lenses with me. So today we are going to talk about DSLRs, and that's why you can see I have so many lenses with me. Um, and I have one DSLR with me that you can see. One DSLR I'm right shooting with. One DSLR is right on my tripod, and I'm shooting this complete video on my DSLR itself. When I opened this channel, one of the objective of this channel was to talk about DSLRs and photography and videography because I'm so much interested in that area. So since this channel was launched, I never got a chance to cover this topic. Hey, hi tech buddies, my name is Santosh and welcome to my channel The Red. This is the first video I'm going to make on DSLR today, but I promise you that I will keep bringing DSLR tutorials and DSLR videos in coming days. So don't go away, subscribe to this channel, and I will keep bringing more videos on DSLR, on photography, videography, and more tips how to take good photos, sharp photos of your friends, family, or any occasion that you have in your house. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. I'm going to cover all the basic and important things about DSLRs today. DSLR stands for Digital Single Lens Reflex. That means that you can connect only one lens with your camera and that will work for you. And whenever you want another lens or you have some other requirement, you can change this lens and you can connect to another lens. So DSLR allows you to change your lens as per your requirement. Let's say you are going out for a vacation and you want good photos of your family and the places that you are visiting. Then you want to take your DSLR, it will allow you to change your lens and then you can take photos. And you can see that I have different variety of lenses with me. So you will see that there are a variety of different cameras available in market if you want to go and buy a new DSLR for you. You will see that there is a camera which does not allow you to change lens. That means you're talking about point and shoot camera. So that point of shoot camera will not allow you to change lens. It has a fixed focal length. So you will see that there is a camera and there is a lens attached to that, and that lens you can't remove. It has a focal length, and in that focal length will be mentioned on your camera like what focal length it covers. Take an example like 16 to 80 mm focal length, or let's say 50 to 250 focal length. So it allows like different focal lengths, and that means it's a point and shoot camera. Don't buy point and shoot cameras. It's not useful, especially in 2022, when you have very good phones that takes extremely good photos. Your phone will simply fulfill that requirements. I really doubt that anybody is going to buy point and shoot camera, and I will not recommend you to buy any point and shoot camera in 2022. Now let's talk about the main topic, which is DSLR we are talking about. And DSLR has its own positions. DSLR has its own place. This is a real fact that a phone can't replace DSLR. DSLR has its own place and phone has its own place. Phone does multiple things and DSLR does only one thing, that is taking photo or taking video. So you would simply understand, right? So one person has one dedicated job and one person has various jobs to perform. Which will be doing better? Definitely one person having one specific reason, right? So DSLR has its own place and phone can't replace it. So you have two types of DSLR available in the market these days. The first one is traditional DSLR like this. If you can see in my hand, it's a traditional DSLR. It's a full frame traditional DSLR. And the other one is mirrorless camera. So what it means is the traditional DSLR camera have mirror inside. That's a mirror technology. But these days new technology has come, which is like they have removed mirror and the space because of that. And the mirrorless camera, you will see that these are slimmer and lightweighted. It's compact compared to traditional DSLR for sure. But don't forget that if you are planning to buy a DSLR, if you are planning to buy a mirrorless DSLR, that is quite costly compared to traditional DSLR. It's a new technology. Sony has launched, and nowadays every other brands, whether you talk about Canon, Nikon, or any brand that you see in the market, top brands, they are making a mirrorless camera as well. So now let's say if you have decided to buy a DSLR, whether it's a mirrorless camera or it's a traditional DSLR, you will get two options: APC versus full frame. So you must be wondering what is APC and what is full frame cameras. So full frame cameras are having 35 mm sensor size, 35 mm sensor size. So which is a complete it's a bigger sensor compared to APC. APC is approx 25 by 16 mm sensor size. So it's a cropped version of full frame. So the frame that you will see inside your camera, the full frame will give you extra bigger frame compared to APC one. APC has slightly shorter. Like I said, against 35 by 35, you will get 25 by 16 frame per size. Full frame cameras are costlier. Not only the body will be costly for you, but the lens that you are going to buy for these bodies, full frame bodies, they will be definitely costlier compared to APC. Can't say that APC camera will not be good for you. APC is cheaper compared to DSLR because of the sensor size. APC cameras are also good. In fact, one of the most popular APC camera that professional photographers use especially for wildlife photography is 7D Mark II because of its versatility and the good image quality that it produces. So it's not the case that APC camera is not good, but yes, if you're buying full frame camera, definitely you will get a better image in terms of low light performance, or in terms of the extra quality of that image you will get in full frame camera for sure. The interesting fact about the APC versus full frame camera, let me tell you that you can use all full frame lenses on your APC body. So you can't use all the lenses of your APC camera on your full frame body. Let's say if you are upgrading from APC to full frame and you are thinking that all the lenses that you have already bought for your APC camera, like 7D Mark II, like I mentioned, you can't use all the lenses that you are using on APC body. You can't use all the lenses on full frame body. So just keep in mind. Let me put this camera a little side and let's talk about lenses, because lenses, in fact, you will not believe, is more important than your camera. Yes, believe me. Let's say if someone is buying an expensive DSLR but they don't have good lenses for that camera, believe me, that camera is not good for anything. I tell you why. So lenses are extremely important aspect when you are buying a DSLR. So DSLR body is one thing, it's important, no doubt about it, but the lenses are more important than your body. It's like eyes. So take an example like human, right? We are human and like human body is important, but let's say if the objective is to watch anything or to see anything, your eyes are most important, right? So lenses are like your DSLR eyes. When you are buying a DSLR, there are a variety of lenses available in the market, and you simply get confused that which lens is good and which lens you should buy. So to help you, let me tell you some basic and important things about lenses which will help you to make your decision that which lens is right for you. So buying a lens is completely depends like what is your requirement. There are different category of photography. In the same way, there are different category for your lenses. When I'm talking about these lenses category, this applies to traditional DSLR as well as this applies to all category. It applies to your full frame versus APC. It applies to your mirrorless as well as non-mirrorless camera. So yes, the first one is your prime lens, or you can say fixed lens. What is prime lens or fixed lens? So fixed lens, like it says, it's a fixed focal length. So right now in my hand, if you can see, this This is a mirrorless lens and it has 35 mm focal length. It has a fixed focal length of 35 mm. If I'm taking a photo and if that object is coming closer or far, I have to move. I can't expand this lens. So that's the fixed lens, that's the fixed focal. That means you can't extend this lens. You can't go from one like 35 to 40 or something. You can't do that. So prime lenses or fixed focal length lenses are always better. And you will see that the aperture that it supports is also almost fixed. So for example, for this lens like 35 mm, it's a Canon mirrorless full frame lens. This supports 1.8 aperture. What is aperture? So we will talk about aperture, but first let's talk about different lens category. Now the second category I have is wide angle. So this lens that you will see, this lens has the focal length of 16 to 35. Yes, 16 wider and 35 to the reach. I give you an example. Let's say you are taking your college last day photo shoot and you have 35 students, 4 teachers, and they're all lined up and you have to take photo and you don't have too much space to go back. So in that case, this kind of lens like 65 to 35 will give you that benefit or edge to take that photo in that compact place and wider angle. So yes, these are called wide angle lenses because it covers wide angle. Now the third category is macro lens. So this lens is Canon 100 mm macro lens, and believe me, this is one of the most selling lens available in the market right now. This will give you 1:1 ratio. Now what is 1:1 ratio? You have to subscribe this channel for that. I will bring a dedicated video on macro photography and more detail about lenses and how to take macro photos. But for that, please subscribe this channel. I will bring that. It's a dedicated topic to cover. We can't cover this in this video. So for that, please like and subscribe this channel, and I will bring more videos on that one. So this macro lens, so let's move to this section. This macro lens will give you, like if you are trying to take insect photo or let's say flower photo and you want to take extra detail and depth of single tiny thing, then this lens is right for you. And last, we are going to talk about telephoto zoom lens. So this is zoom out and zoom in, and this will give you extra reach to your subject. So let's say if you want to take photo of a bird or wildlife photography or videography you do, then this lens will be right for you. Yes, we talked about different kind of lenses. There is a medium zoom lens also available. So let's say 24x70, which I'm shooting right now, which will allow you to take for your like street photography, or let's say it's like go lens. So yes, there are a variety of lens available in the market, and it completely depends that which lens you want to buy. One fun fact is every lens has one aperture, and what aperture means is how wide this lens can open. If you are buying this lens, like I told you, 85 1.4 aperture or 1.2 aperture, these kind of lenses will be way costly. These are professional lenses. It can give you good bokeh and excellent image. So one important thing that you will find on each lens is aperture. Now this aperture is also two types of aperture that you can find. One is fixed aperture and one is variable aperture. So fixed aperture means it doesn't matter if you extend the lens. So let's say you are talking about 16 to 35 lens that I was talking about. This lens like 16 to 35, but the aperture is fixed to 4. What it means is if I am shooting anything on 16 or 20 or 30 or 35, it will not, the aperture will remain at 4. If I set this aperture at 4, it will not increase or decrease. It will remain on that one. But the variable aperture is in the cheaper lenses that you will find, or let's say this lens, like this lens. If you see, this is a bigger lens, and it has variable aperture. It has 5.4 to 6.3 aperture. So what it means is if I'm shooting any object at 150 mm, then the aperture will be, I can use minimum as 5.4, but when I will extend this will slowly increase and go to 6.5, 6.3. So now the question is which lens or which camera you should buy. Let's say you want to buy a DSLR just to take photos of a tourist place when you are on a vacation and you want to take photo for your family and friends, or good spots. Then I will say go for APC camera, and then entry-level APC camera. And rather than taking your kit lens that it comes, kit lens is the lens that comes with the camera. So don't buy that. I will not recommend that. Instead of that, just buy the body. So you can buy only the body here. You just leave the lens that it comes along with that. The glasses that is used inside the kit lens are not so good. So what I will recommend is buy a camera body, and then buy a lens which has fixed aperture, like 2.8. You can find it if you're buying an APC lens and 2.8. It's a quite good price range that you can find. So I will recommend that any lens that you can buy having the fixed aperture of 2.8 or 4, or let's say there is a very good cheap lens available which is Nifty 50. So in every brand you will buy you can get a 50 mm lens, fixed aperture 1.8, but that lens will serve you excellent. That lens is excellent choice that you can go, and it will not cost you a lot. The objective of this video was to cover about the introduction of DSLR and some basic and important things about DSLRs and lenses. So I hope you like this video, and I hope that this video has helped you to understand a little more about DSLR and lenses. In next video, I'm going to cover about more in detail. Don't go away. Like and subscribe this channel. I'm your host, Santosh Kumar. Till the next video, take care, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much.